today we're doing something a bit different. We're focusing our lens on just one source, but it's incredibly powerful. It's a political reflection called Reflection of a Pioneering Mayor.
Yeah, and this isn't just, a standard political memoir. It feels much more raw, more human. Our mission today is really to get past the usual political talk and unpack the personal cost.
Right, the cost of being in public service.
Exactly. Thinking about the resilience you need, dealing with betrayal, which sounds like a huge part of this, and then finding a way to, well, heal. We're drawing all of this directly from this leader's experience in the Gambia.
And the leader herself, she's a major figure. We should probably underscore that.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking
Yeah.
about the first female mayor of the Gambia. And crucially, the very first mayor of Banjul to serve 2 terms. That's, a significant legacy right there,
Yeah.
built on actual achievements,
Undisputed achievement.
undisputed. But what this reflection really explores is how that legacy wasn't just built on success, but was forged through, well, 4 incredibly tough years. Years marked by intense, very personal political conflict. It really tested her.
Okay, so let's dig into that. Where do we start? Maybe with her guiding philosophy. It seems like that was her anchor.
Yeah, she starts her reflection with this lesson from her father. It's a wolf saying, Aduna dafa gudatanka.
Okay, what does that mean for those of us who don't know?
Well, literally it translates to something like the world has long legs. It's sort of deep cultural wisdom there. Her take on it is that you need to live by your own conscience, your own moral code,
Mm-hmm.
and try to ignore all the outside noise, the judgment, because eventually the truth travels further. It outlasts the gossip.
That really sets the stage. It's like she's saying her internal compass was set before all the drama started. And that clarity may be coupled with her belief that, as she puts it, truth can survive even the hardest times.
Right. And that belief was seriously put to the test over the 4 years she writes about. She describes it as a time of profound isolation.
Feeling alone.
Yeah, facing many challenges, she says, with only a handful of people really sticking by her. When a leader at that level talks about feeling alone, it tells you something about the institutional pressure she must have been under.
But the really painful part, reading this, it wasn't the usual political fighting with opponents. It was the disappointment, she says, from inside her own party. That basic respect was often forgotten. That sounds rough.
Well, it's devastating, isn't it? Because, you expect attacks from your political rivals. That's just, well, politics.
Comes with the territory.
Exactly. But your own party, that's
Mhm.
supposed to be your base, your support system. When that breaks down, when even basic respect goes out the window, the isolation she mentioned must have felt overwhelming. It's not just fighting an opponent anymore. It's like fighting for survival amongst people you thought were allies.
Yeah, that signals something seriously wrong internally, doesn't it?
Definitely. A profound dysfunction.
So this wasn't just disagreements over policy then. It sounds like it got nasty. Personal, she's quite direct about the shift to public disrespect and deep personal attacks.
She is, and she's careful to point out how cruel it got. She says, policy debates are one thing, but the deepest cut, the thing that really hurt beyond the professional realm, were the attacks on her family.
Wow.
And strategically attacking family, that's often the last resort, isn't it? A way to try and force someone out of public life entirely.
Okay, we need to unpack the specific accusations she mentions because they seem quite revealing. She says her own political community called her an attention seeker, that her suffering was downplayed, and that she was even accused of faking victim cries. Now, given she was the first female mayor, how do we read those specific attacks? Is there a gendered element here?
It's hard not to see one, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
those are almost textbook examples of how women in powerful positions often get targeted. The aim isn't just to argue policy. It's to undermine her credibility, her emotional stability, even her right to lead.
Right, calling a woman leader an attention seeker?
Yeah, it's a way to diminish her experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
To frame legitimate complaints as just being overly emotional or manipulative, as if she's not serious, just, hysterical.
And there's this moment where she addresses the idea that, well, maybe she wasn't the first politician to face abuse from within a party, the implication being toughen up. Her response is so direct. She says, no, I am not, but mine was deep, coming from people I trusted and loved so dearly.
And that's the absolute crux of it psychologically. She's saying the source of the abuse matters more than the abuse itself. An attack from an enemy hurts, but the same attack from someone you trust, someone you love, that's a betrayal.
It's a different category of pain.
Completely. It shatters something fundamental. And healing from that kind of deep personal betrayal is a whole different process.
Eventually, though, time did bring some validation. She mentions her phone lighting up with messages, people saying she'd been proven right. The truth finally caught up, it seems.
Yeah, that moment must have felt like, finally, some public acknowledgement after years of enduring this. But what's really striking is her reaction.
What did she do?
Well, she acknowledges the validation, appreciates it, but she immediately pivots. She says this isn't a time for celebration, but for honest reflection within our political community.
That's mature. She didn't take the victory lap.
Not at all. No, I told you so. Instead, she turns it outward. She basically demands that the whole political system look at itself and figure out how this culture of disrespect, these personal attacks, became acceptable.
She's saying, okay, I got through it, but we need to fix the system that allowed it.
Precisely. And if you look at what she credits for getting her through it all, it's not aggression or fighting back harder. It's something quieter.
Is that
Her phrase is, Alhamdulillah for the power of time and patience.
time and patience? That really underscores the long game she played. And it seems to have worked in terms of her own well-being. She says she's finally healing after those 4 intense years.
Yes. Which leads us to this really interesting, almost strategic choice she's made now. Forgiveness.
How so?
Well, she frames it as a very conscious decision, a tool almost for self-preservation. She says she chose to forgive most people, and she's explicit about why.
For herself?
Exactly. For her own peace, her own mental health. It's like a calculated trade. Giving up the right to hold on to the anger in exchange for internal stability.
That raises a really interesting point, doesn't it? Is stepping back completely and forgiving almost everyone, is that purely self-care, which seems totally understandable? Or could some people see it as maybe avoiding the responsibility to keep fighting for reform now that she's been proven right?
I think it's probably both, and it feels like she weighed the cost. Continuing that fight, even with truth on her side, might have meant sacrificing her mental health forever.
Right.
So her decision is basically saying, my inner peace is more valuable now than staying in the political fight. She's choosing personal sustainability over perpetual conflict, which honestly sets a precedent.
Yeah.
Leaders are often expected to just keep fighting, always.
But this forgiveness, it isn't absolute, is it? She draws a line.
A very clear line. She mentions she's still praying for the strength to forgive the people who attacked her family. Because, as she says, the hurt is deeper there.
That distinction is crucial.
It really is. It tells you she can separate the political from the personal, to some extent. She can forgive the rough and tumble of politics, even when it got ugly. But the attacks that crossed into her private life, that harmed her loved ones, that's different.
A different kind of violation.
Yes. And it suggests that some wounds need more than just a strategic decision to forgive. They need something deeper, maybe spiritual, that hasn't fully happened yet.
And that boundary seems directly linked to her current stance, right? Staying out of politics.
Completely. Her focus now, she says, is just her mental health and peace. Full stop. She makes it clear she's not getting involved in current party issues, not taking sides.
She's drawn a clear boundary.
She's essentially walled off that part of her life. She served, she endured, and now she's prioritizing recovery. It's a powerful statement of self-worth, really.
So looking back at her service overall, how does she frame it now? Does she regret it?
She says explicitly, no regrets about my service. She still expresses love for her party, for her country, and she acknowledges her own strength in getting through it all.
And how does she want her legacy remembered?
This is where it gets really strategic, I think. She doesn't focus on specific policies or projects, which, can always be debated or changed later.
Sure.
Instead, she points to 2 historical facts, 2 things she says cannot be disputed.
Okay, what are they? Simply that, by God's grace, as she puts it, she will always be the Gambia's first female mayor, and the first mayor of Banjul to serve 2 terms.
She's cementing her legacy in objective facts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Indisputable biographical milestones. It makes her place in history immune to political spin or attempts to erase her work. It's quite a clever way to define her contribution, ensuring it lasts.
That is a powerful way to control your own narrative. And she seems quite final about it. She says she said all she needs to say about current politics. Her story as a political figure is complete. What does that signal when a leader who could still have influence declares their story finished?
It signals, I think, a genuine closing of a chapter. She's rejecting the expectation that former leaders have to stay involved, always ready to comment or fight old battles. It's like a psychological withdrawal, letting the historical record stand on its own, maybe hoping the focus shifts from the fight to the achievement. And her final request really sums it all up, doesn't it?
It does. After everything, the attacks, the vindication, the reflection, she just asked for one thing. I simply ask for peace so I can finish healing.
Wow. That hits hard.
It really encapsulates the whole journey, from the fire of political betrayal through validation to this very deliberate, strategic pursuit of inner peace. Her reflection gives us this incredible insight into the kind of resilience needed not just to serve, but to survive public life with your dignity intact.
It definitely raises some big questions for you, our listener. Thinking about political life, which is always full of conflict, how does this need for personal forgiveness mesh with professional history? What does it mean when a leader like this chooses mental health over staying in the political fray?
Yeah, and think about the legacy she cemented, those historical firsts. What do you think is the real measure of political success in the end? Is it the public wins, the policies, the records set while in office? Or is it maybe achieving that sense of internal peace, that dignified closure after the service is done?
Definitely.